2.5 years ago, I was a skinny little kid. I wasn't confident in myself. I wasn't feeling good. I didn't like how I looked. I didn't like who I was. I like avoided looking in the mirror in a way, because I can never remember once of like me looking in the mirror and just like staring at my body. And any time that I would, or any time like I'd be in the school changing rooms or anywhere and I'd take my top off, I'd be so insecure. Like I'd have to move as quickly as I could to get my other top on, as I wouldn't want anyone to see me. This was because I was skinny. I had spots. I had like back knee, so I used to call it, where you had loads of spots on your back and whatnot. And I had like all these like things that I didn't like about myself, and I didn't feel secure at all about it. And this just led to like being shy, low self-esteem, not being confident, not being able to like stand up, like stand out, put your hand up in class. I couldn't do none of this. I was just this shy, low self-esteem kid, and I was just scared of everything, scared of what to do. And then one day, I remember watching one of my friends, or no, actually two of my friends go to the gym. They started over the summer holidays and they were going pretty consistently. Every time they seemed to go every day, and they always seemed to work hard. And I watched this at the time. I was quite like jealous in a way, but I was sort of like, I didn't think they'd make much progress. I didn't think they'd get big, because I thought it was like, you had to like cheat or something to get big. I thought you had to like take steroids to get big. But no, they were going to the gym. And I remember seeing them after the summer holidays, and they were massive. I looked at them and like, generally at the time, like their arms just seemed twice the size of anyone else's. And they just seemed in such good shape. And I was like, I was so inspired by that. I was so like, wow, how is that possible? How has he done that? So it motivated me to start going to the gym. I started off at like this little like council gym, you know, the ones that like don't really have any good machines. It's like just a couple sets of dumbbells and whatnot. But I started off there, and I started off like just messing around, not really knowing what to do, going on the treadmill for a bit, then like doing a couple light weights, and then moving to the next thing, and just like going with a flow sort of, because I didn't really understand the gym. And this was the routine for quite a while, until my friends put me on and they started to teach me how to go to the gym properly. They taught me technique. They taught me like just everything there was to know about the gym. And as like they were obsessed with the gym, and their obsession sort of transferred into me. As I come home each day and like, instead of revising, I was in year 11 at the time, and my GCSEs were coming up. And instead of revising, instead of like looking at what I should do, I was watching videos on like how to get better at the gym. That's like the only content I would consume. Every like TikTok video, YouTube video, Instagram reel I had was about someone lifting weights, how you could lift weights better, or just like about diet. It was always about fitness. It was always about the gym. And I just became obsessed with trying to get in like as best shape as possible and just get bigger than everyone else. And through all this, I gained so much knowledge of the gym and whatnot. So if you have any questions, please DM me on Instagram down below, and I'm sure I can help you out. But through all the knowledge, through all the learning, and through all the like, just hearing so much about the gym, I started to implement it. I started to like better my technique, get better. And I remember like going to the gym with my friend, and we'd try these new exercises out. We'd look at each other's technique. We'd tell each other how to like get better with it. And just for progress seemed so fast compared to everyone else's. I knew other people that started going gym, but they weren't getting results like I was. They weren't like getting as big as I was. They weren't getting as strong as I was. As I was lifting just correctly, I was lifting smart, and I was lifting like just the way you should lift. Like my technique was just pure for everything, as I was just working on it each day, and even outside of the gym. And I just learned so much from it. And with this, there was a massive like competitive nature between me and my friends. And it wasn't like a violent competitive, it wasn't like a horrible competitive nature. It was a friendly, like, I want to be stronger than him, he wants to be stronger than me, and we're both like going for it, but we're also wanting each other to succeed at the same time. As like, if I saw him bench more than me, like I congratulate, I'll be proud of him, but at the same time I'd want what he has. So there weren't no animosity about it, but we had this competitive nature. And this strives you to go to the gym even more. As I never saw him skip a session, and he never saw me skip a session. So we were like pushing against each other, trying to beat each other, but trying to outwork each other. But that also made me go to the gym more. I was like, come on, I've got to beat him. I've got to get stronger than him. So it just drove me to be more consistent, be more disciplined with the gym. And then as one thing led to another, I remember the biggest like achievement that I made in my first year or so of the gym, I think it was in my first 6 months of the gym nearly, was I benching 100 kg. I did it very fast. I got up there quicker than, like, that takes people years to do, and I did it so quickly. But that's because I was so determined with it. Like I was learning so much technique every week. I'd make sure I'd get a spot. I'd make sure I'd hit the right weight, and I'd probably overtrain a bit. I'd probably do too much, but I think it was better for me than doing too little. As like I'd go to the gym and like I'd hit a bench session, I'd hit a chest session, and then like maybe one of my friends would join and be like, "I join a bench." And I'd be like, "Cool," and then I'd bench again, and I'd be in the gym for hours on end, and it would just I'd work my muscles like as hard as I could, and I'd probably work them too hard, but it just seemed to help because I had so much obsession with it and so much like drive to do it. I didn't care about like the rest times and the scientific times of how long you should rest between sets and stuff. I just did it, and when I just did it, I've made so much more progress than when I like cared about the times and the rest times and whatnot. As whenever I spoke to like the biggest guys in the gym and like the most like the guys who you think of a man, it's like that guy over there. Yeah, he's him. Like he can like he's repping out 100. He's doing so many pull-ups. Like him, the guy, just the best guy at the gym. Whenever I spoke to those guys, whenever I got advice from those guys, they didn't care about like the 3-minute rest time and how you should like the superset, how a superset's not good for your muscles and stuff. Like they didn't care at all. They just worked out. They just did like every single thing. They'd bench and they'd do another bench exercise. Like they just weren't scientific at all. That's the only way I can explain it. They just didn't care about the science. They didn't care about none of it. They just worked out, and they worked out as hard as they could. And this made me realize like the science doesn't matter. As I started to become more of like a nerd in a way, I started to care more about the rest times. I started to care more about like how like the exercises that I'm doing. I tried to get the most optimal range of motion for everything. But I don't think my progress ever went as well, as I never enjoyed it as much when I cared about the science, when I cared about real optimum ability. I lost the like love for the gym and I lost the fun out of it. But when I just did like bench press and I did push-ups after, or I did push-ups and pull-ups and dips, and I just like did whatever, like I had way more fun as I was just going for it, and I was just like pushing myself as hard as I could, and I was making more progress. As like I was just going for it. I was working harder. I was pushing myself more to failure, and like I was more consistent with it, more just showing up each day. But through all this journey, I was bulking. I was trying to eat as much food as I could, really. And at first, my biggest mistake was I was dirty bulking. I was eating every food on the table. So I was eating the pizza, the Belgian buns, the cookies, all of it. And basically what it resulted in me was just getting very fat, getting like a lot bigger in weight, just getting a lot more chubby. And it didn't feel good at all. I didn't feel healthy anymore. I didn't feel like vibrant, very fast. All I felt was strong, but I didn't look muscular. And I realized this was a problem, just like the sugar I was eating and whatnot. It made me fat. It made me have more acne. It made me have a bit more spots on my face. So I had to start using clean foods. I had to start eating like meat, vegetables, fruit, like the healthy foods that you know are healthy for you. Once I started eating these foods, I just maintained abs throughout. Like I never got so big that I didn't have abs anymore. Instead, I stayed like lean. I stayed strong, and I was just getting more muscular, and I was having more muscle on my body. As when I did this, I really started to see the shape I was in now. As just, I stayed lean, but my muscles came out defined. Like my shoulders just like doubled in size, and like even going like that, you can't really see, but like I have strands in my shoulders and all that just from eating clean and healthy foods. Is when I didn't do that, when I just ate like dirty foods like pizza and whatnot, I was not in half a good shape as I am in now. And I wasn't even doing like as good like physically. I wasn't as strong as I was now. But that was my journey to like the gym. That was a really brief, I've missed so many bits there, but that was the journey to the gym. And if you have any questions at all, please DM me on Instagram down below. But thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next video.